All right. Example 6. High-priced houses, option and later convert to terms. I just want to put this in here because I want you guys to open up your minds a little bit. Just here's what I love about the world of FSBOs, guys. This is the greatest part about it. Thank you, ma'am. What'd you put in it? Look at this, 1/3 of a cup. I keep telling her, VAs are cheaper. Anytime you create a deal with a human being, you can go change that deal later if that human being and you agree. And if it's in both parties' best interest. Don't forget that. No deal you create with a seller is ironclad. It's not like dealing with a bank. In this example on page 14, where what we're doing is a high-priced option. And you know, just for the record, if you're going to do options, if I were you, do the ones you can get 6 figures on. They're no harder to sell than the ones you get 5 figures on. Go into higher priced properties. Build yourself a higher priced list for that matter, and then focus on those things and pop those big checks. A seller calls about a house on the river worth $750,000, which means it's probably on a crappy part of the river. It belonged to her mom, who recently passed away, and left it to her brother. Is that good? That's good. Brother didn't pay for it. Brother don't have sentimental attachment to it, mom did. It's a gift from the gods to brother. It's now vacant and has been on the market with a realtor for 6 months at $699. The listing expired, and the seller, who lives 1,500 miles away, are trying to decide whether to relist. They would take a deep discount for cash and tell you so in a motivated voice. In fact, before you get off the phone, she indicates any reasonable offer over $500,000 will get serious consideration. But she doesn't want anyone living in the house and wants all cash. Are you going to hear that? Is anybody going to tell you, yep, I want all cash? Yeah, of course they are. So your offer, okay, I'll option it for $500,000 with 3 months or 6 months. To be honest with you, if I can't get a house sold in 3 months, I don't need another 3. I got better things to do in life. If we can't move it in 3, we ain't moving it, period. We put an effort on getting buyers to that property, and we can't get it sold. Golly, get out of it is what I'd tell you to do. $100 deposit, so you tie it up with an option agreement, which we're going to cover. Okay, you put it on the market, and you run ads to attract people, indicating that you're down and out. Please come hurt me. I'm desperate. And in fact, the ad says, desperate seller. People like that, especially in these day and times, don't they? Desperate seller. I'm down. I have to sell. Man, that just brings in the bottom feeders. Since I've optioned it for $500 and it's worth $750, I know I've got some room to spare. I don't have to sell it for $750. In fact, here's the thing you should know about options. Don't ever option a property if the only way you get paid is you've got to sell it for top market value. I have one very simple rule about properties you option. Well, I have several. Number one, I want them in excellent shape, because if they're not in excellent shape, I'm not touching them. Guys, we do not do work on houses we do not own. Hello? We don't do work on houses we don't own. And in fact, if any work's got to be done, the seller's going to do it, or I'm out of here. I'm not doing the work, and I'm not paying for the work, and neither are you. Let the seller do the work. And if the seller don't want to do the work, move on. Move on to something else that you can sell better. So, in this case, the house in good shape. It's on the river, which is a good selling point. Good selling point. We run desperate seller ads, motivated seller, must move, and we put it on the market for, I'd put it on the market for $650. And let whatever comes, comes. Now somebody comes along and says, I love this house. This is our dream house. But we just can't qualify right now, but we do have $200,000. Well, bells are going off in my head, because as far as I'm concerned, that person's running around with a whole lot of my money. And I want it. So $200 ain't $500,000 though, is it? So here's what my example says. They can pay $4,000 a month. That's not a lot of money on a $750,000 house, is it? Okay? So you just change the terms a little bit. You get the idea to go back to the seller and propose new terms. Look, I got a buyer, but they can't cash out right now. They say they can cash out within a couple of years. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like for you to sell the property for $500,000 with $50,000 down. $50,000 down. Sell it to me for $500,000 with $50,000 down at $2,000 a month with a 2-year balloon, first payment due in 3 months. Now, what have we just accomplished? We accomplished a major coup. Now, in this case, guys, don't misunderstand me. This is not a flip. This is not an axe. You're actually going to take title to the property, and then you're going to sell it same day. That's the only way you're going to pull this off. This is not a contract you're going to sign. You guys see that? Okay. I'm going to take title to the property and give the seller $50,000 down. Where am I getting their 50? From my buyer's 200. Attorney's doing all of this. Your attorney. The seller will see a HUD-1 with a $500 price, 50 down, $450 note back to them, $2,000 a month with a 2-year balloon, and first payment due in 3 months. So what do we get out of this? We get $150,000 cash right now because we're leveraging our brain. Plus, we get $2,000 a month for 2 years because we're collecting 4 and paying 2. And plus, we get the first 2 months payment coming in with nothing going out if we sell it within our first month. Everybody get that? All right. Seller got what they want. We got what we wanted. We got paid now. Everybody lived happily ever after. Buyer got what they wanted. Buyer needed you to come in and make this deal work because they couldn't go qualify for a house, so they got their dream home. Now it's up to them to get it refinanced within 2 years. Now, in this case, what do you tell the seller when they ask you, well, what if they don't refinance it? Well, you call me and I'll handle it, and if we have to, we'll take it back and do it again. But you get to keep the $50,000 regardless. Whatever you can create with a human being, you can get the human being to agree, you can change the terms anytime. So I know that when I do an option deal, that's not necessarily the way the deal is going to come down. My whole goal is to option the property, leaving plenty of equity in it, and then go see what the market will bring in, and then go back to the seller and try to negotiate different terms, now that we got a bird in the hand, not one in the bush. And you'll find it very easy to negotiate short terms, especially when there's some cash involved, when the seller sees that, okay, I got a chance to get the house sold now and get it off my back and get peace of mind. Clear? Clear.